Hello and welcome to Let's Be Real About It, where we are real about real life issues. I am your host, Mildred Towns, and our disclaimer is this is a no holds barred zone. Therefore, some of the contents of the show may be offensive to some, but that is not the intent of the show. But before I introduce my guest, I want to introduce you to my book, Truth: My Closet Secrets Revealed, and my brochure, Hear Me, A Cry from the Wound. Truth is my life story of some of the things that I have gone through. Please get my book, read my book, so that you don't have to experience a lot of the things that I went through just because I didn't know any better. And some things I did know better, just did it anyway. So that you don't make the same mistakes that I made. And the brochure, Hear Me a Cry from the Wound. If there's anybody childbearing age who may be thinking about right now having an abortion, please email me at iheartministries@gmail.com to get the brochure as well as my book. And we can give you the information on how to order. And I just want to give special thanks to the sponsors of the show, J&K Style Grill in Virginia Beach, as well as Zion City of Deliverance, and our anonymous sponsor. And if the show have been a blessing to you and you would like to be a sponsor on the show, please email me at iheartministries@gmail.com, and we will give you the information on how to become a sponsor of the show. And I want to introduce my special guest tonight, Tamika Jones. Tamika is back for part two. Thank you, Tamika, for coming back for part two. How are you?
I'm fine. So excited to be here again.
Thank you. Thank you for coming back for part two. I'll tell y'all, if y'all missed part one of her story last week, you're going to have to go back and listen to the story. We're going to do a quick recap here shortly. But if for some of y'all don't know, Tamika was a guest at my I Heard Ministries, one of my workshops in Atlanta, and this was back in 2017, and she told her story. And so now she's back again telling her story, and I'm just excited to have her back. So Tamika, I have to ask you this. Did the workshop in any way, I don't even know what word to use. Did you get, I'm going to put it like this. Did the workshop touch your life in any way?
Yes, the workshop was awesome. I talk about it all the time. And then I think I even messaged you probably about a year ago asking did you just still do the show because I was sending people. Like they didn't needed to go. I think it was an outlet. It was like my second or third speaking engagement. And I flooded the floodgate, but it was so healing. It was so healing. And the message that you gave in the trees and the roots and the branches, it was totally different than what I had heard before. So it was really letting me know that I can birth new fruit. It just gave me
Yes.
like the I guess the unction or the kick in the butt to kind of say you can change the trajectory of your life if you just make another choice.
Yes.
You can just change your life if you deal another, just deal another hand. You don't even though you got these cards that you was dealt, you can take the cards and deal another hand. And so that's what I did. And I think you're going to that workshop and going to this Celebrate Recovery was the catapult to me getting out of my why, what for, who did it and why, and who to blame, and just having me take ownership for my own decisions and the things that I had done in life. So I loved it. I think it's much needed. Yes.
Yes. Yes, much, much needed. I enjoy doing this since I've been here in Virginia Beach. I haven't had the opportunity yet to branch into it like I was in Atlanta. But I thank God, because I know there's a time that He's going to open up the door and that I can get back into it, even here in Virginia Beach. But you have written a book, and tell us about your book, Brutal Courage.
Well, my book Brutal Courage is about it's an anthology, so it's I'm co-author, so it's other authors on there, and it's just about life traumatic experience, adoption. I think some people in there have been raped, abused in every which way. It goes into I don't think incest is in that book, but different things that people deal with that they are ashamed of, they hide behind, that people kill themselves for. A lot of the reasons why people are on drugs and alcohol, they haven't overcame different things and they think they're alone and things like that. So that's why we wrote the book. my portion deals on divorce and marriage. Even though I went to jail when I was 16 and I did 3 years, God had blessed me with that. But I end up getting out, and you still have either you what they say, you going through a storm or coming out and
Mm-hmm.
go through a new one. So it's just kind of like one of those things. So I thought the book was it's very important right now because it's a time to tell that I've been there. This is how you get out. Let's keep moving forward.
Yes, yes, yes. And it's an awesome book. It's an awesome book. I would suggest or advise anybody, especially if you haven't teens who's going through a lot of stuff, and not only teenagers who going through a lot of stuff, that you experiencing stuff in life. This book, I believe, will speak to every area of a person's life that may be going through something, and find out how these people overcame what it is that right now you may be in the midst of. I think it's a great book, a lot of different authors in that book. And I have enjoyed, like I say, I have enjoyed reading the book and reading the different stories that really just spoke to my own life. But I just want to give a quick recap of last week. You were a troubled teen, you was rebellious, teen pregnancy. By the age of 16, you were serving time in prison for murder. As a matter of fact, you mentioned that you served 3 years in prison, and you suffered from abandonment issues, and you were a runaway teen. I mean, a great story. And I know that it's going to minister to so many young people right now that's going through so many challenges. So, talk about you were wanting to die. Now, what you were wanting to die, was it during the time that you was in prison or after the time you got out of prison?
I think the whole time, the whole time of just living, like I just felt so disconnected when I was younger. And then in prison, I was so not like the other people. I mean, you had some people that have really done some things, and I'm just like, oh my God, I just made this huge mistake. I don't belong here. And I just felt like a bad mom because I had left my 2 year old. Then I had the baby in jail. I had the baby like handcuffed to a bed, like one of my feet handcuffed to a bed, and a police outside the door. Like that is just like, this is so embarrassing. I can't believe this is my life. So I spent a lot of my years, I think I was about 20, saying I can't believe this is my life right now. And so I ended up having a baby in jail, and I had to give her to the lady who took care of me. That I wasn't, and I love her, don't get me wrong. I definitely wouldn't slander her name because I could have been in the system. I could have been nowhere to be found, not even know what my biological mama was. But she kept in contact with her. She made sure that, and she did teach me about Jesus, and for that, I'm thankful. But I didn't want my kids to go with her because I felt like it ended up happening just like it happened. I didn't want them to be brainwashed about the bad parts of me or the bad decisions that I made and things like that. And so I just wanted to die. I just needed to. I feel like if I died, I could come back and start over. That's not how life works, but that's how I felt. And it's a lot of people that feel that way, and we overlook them. We're very overlooked because you don't have no valid people. People feel like their issue is the biggest issue. So when you tell
Mhm.
them your small issue, it's kind of like, girl, but no, it's killing me. I don't know who came up with words and what sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt
Worse
me. That's a
than
lie.
hmm
People kill themselves because of words. I pretty much wanted to die because of words. Just words that they be attached to you. So yeah, it was about 20 years I wanted to die. The whole 20 years.
So, were there ever a time that you may have tried to attempt murder to kill yourself?
No, not really, because like taking pills and slit my throat. Girl, too scared to do that. And then number one, I felt like, I always heard that that's the sin that you would definitely go to hell for if you was to kill yourself. I don't know if that's true or not. But that's what I heard. And then I had that one baby that I knew she loved me. She didn't care. Babies don't care if you can sing, can't sing. If you do the right thing, don't do the right thing. And my daughter, Shania, she really, really loved me, and I knew that she would be hurt, even though she was 2 when I left. If I had to die, she still would be hurt, and she like my best friend today. So I'm so glad I made the choice to live.
Yes, girl. I'm glad you made the choice to live too. I'm so glad you made the choice to live. So after all that was over, you get out of prison at the age of 19. And you meet a young man that was in prison that you met through his mom, at a Kairos meeting. And first of all, tell us what Kairos is and tell us how you met the mom and she introduced you, all that.
No, not yet. First, when I first got out, I got out when I was 20 and I had a son by the time I was 21. So I instantly got in a relationship. I had a son, and his dad ended up going to jail for murder. So he was gone. And so that's when I said, I'm making the wrong choices. I gotta recap, I gotta get my life together. And that's when I started going to like celebrate recovery, which is a 12-step program for people who are addicted. I wasn't addicted to drug and alcohol. I was addicted to the past. I couldn't get over the why my mama gave me away and all this kind of stuff. And I wasn't forgiving anybody. And my life was just stagnant. So I just went through life. I ended up going to college. I just made some better choices. I ended up going to college, getting my degree. I ended up working. I still work at the same job now. So that's a blessing, consistency. And so as I got older, I started saying I need to be in prison ministries. And so I joined Kairos. Kairos is a prison ministry that's for families of prisoners. And we go inside Kairos. So we go inside the prison for 3 days, pray with the women, pray with the men. We go outside Kairos. That's when we go outside. We get together with the families and they shower us with just love and blessings and kind of reincarnate, I guess, the holidays that was missed. So when you go there, it's an outpour of love for you. It's a chain link that they put around you and say, we are here with you, going through this time with you. And so I was a guest on that. I was a guest there because my baby daddies are in prison. And
Mm-hmm.
so I've been in prison, so I was a guest there. And then the following year, I was a volunteer. So I was the one helping people and molding people and things like that. And I sat at this lady's table, and she mentioned she had seen her son in 12 years. He was a child prisoner, and she hadn't seen him. And for me, from a child prisoner's perspective, I talked her into going to see him, forgiving him, and things like that. She told him when she got home, and then she told him when she got home, and then after that, he called me, and I'm like, I don't got no money, Disney, I got two baby daddies, I can't, whatever. And he was like, nah, I'm actually, I just wanted to thank you, wanted to bless you, and he blessed me. He sent me like a Kindle Fire or something. I said I wanted like some money. He just sent it in the mail. I don't know how, when, or whatever. And he said, I'm about to go teach a healthy relationship class anyway. I have to go. And so he did. And I said, healthy relationships. All my relationship was tattered. And so over the course of 2 years, we fell in love because he sent that healthy relationship packet, and we prayed about it. We talked about it, and he helped me with some forgiveness. I forgive my mom. I forgave myself for what I did. I forgave myself for hurting my children and breaking up our relationships. And so he helped me heal. He really helped me heal. So a year later, he asked me to marry him. I'm like, how did that work? He was like, well, I get out in a year. I can't come to Georgia. He was in St. Louis, and he was like, that's the only way I'm gonna be able to come to your state. Okay, so I married him.
So you married him in prison. So what was that like?
Well, first, it's in prison, so you married, you scared. I'm nervous. I'm out of state. I'm driving there by myself. I really don't know these people. I'm at his mama house, so it's scary, but it's a leap of faith. And I'm an adventurous person. Number one, number two, I feel like, well, maybe this is the reason why I went to prison. Because who would have considered that? Nobody. People doing it all the time now, but at first it was like taboo. Nobody's doing it. But because I was a child prisoner and I knew that it was good people in prison, I'm like, maybe this is what God had me. I just thought it was ordained by God. And he got out, and we had like 4 amazing years that was just amazing until he started cutting up. But we had like so much fun. I loved it. He showered me with gifts and blessings. And at the time, that was my love language because I had been spending my youthful years having sex for free, doing stuff for men for free, loving folks for free. So he coming with gifts, and not just monetary gifts, but sentimental things. I love you. Words of affirmations. He was giving me all of that in front of people. He was the type, we at a restaurant, he stand up and sing to me. He just cherished the ground I walk on. He would come to my job pass, give me roses, get on the intercom and say, I love my wife on my birthday, holidays. He was just awesome. Awesome. I loved every minute of it. Even when I met you, I talked about how great he was and how I was just so happy. And I really was. I really was.
So he gets out of prison. Y'all get married while he was in prison. He gets out of prison. Everything's going good. I mean, you was mesmerized by him, the conversation, and all of this. I even saw pictures that you had posted, on Facebook, y'all going out, y'all doing all this stuff. But then after the 3 years, and the marriage goes sour, and he goes like from how they go, Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde type. So talk about, he becomes angry with God. Your voice just wasn't what he wanted to hear. Your voice became irritating to him. Talk about this. Talk about that. All that happened there.
It was such a great thing. We were going to speak to the youth about how to stay out of prison collectively. We were getting paid to do it. But he wanted a baby. In his heart, he really wanted a baby. And we was having pregnancy scares after pregnancy scares. And so he was just like, you know what, I ain't doing God no more. We praying, we working for the Lord, we doing the right thing, I'm making the right choices. I ain't doing it. So it became, he just wasn't doing it. And so I feel like there was an opening. I don't know how spiritual people is on here, but for me, that was an opening to let the devil in. And next thing you know, here come a friend, want to take him to the strip club, which I'm not opposed to him living, because I knew he missed it. He went to the jail when he was 16 to 38. He missed it all. I had already done it all. But I was willing to do it because guess what? I missed 16 to 20. So yeah, let's have some fun. Let's play the game. I was all for it, but you have to be respectful. You still married and all those things. So it's still rules to this thing. And so for him, I think that him going to a strip club, he came home and I knew that day he had changed. When he came home, he was like, oh man, I seen so much. He was so excited just about like the nightlife and what was out there. And he smoked. He liked to be high and high. And I think that just fueled that want for like the life that I wasn't giving him. Because marriage can become routine. I don't care if it's the first year. It can become routine because you're working, you're trying to take care of bills. We was in a marriage club, so we was doing stuff, and we put work into. I put work into our marriage because we was in a marriage group and learning how to fight fair and going on those retreats and really praying for our marriage. And we had a lot of people that was in their 50s and 60s and have been married over 20 years. So it just became one of those things that he just didn't want because he wanted the nightlife. He wanted the outside world, and it resulted in him cheating with somebody 6 doors down.
So girl, when you found out, how in the world did that affect you, knowing that his mistress is just 6 doors down from you?
Girl, first of all, we had just came back from a trip where he had upgraded my ring, because in jail you had to buy the ring. So he had just upgraded. I had a nice ring, couple hundreds of dollars, and about $1,500 or something nice for me. I loved it. And we had just came from the beach and all this kind of stuff. And he told me next day why I was at work, which was stupid. And I was just hurt, you know what I'm saying? But it was so sad. I loved him so much that in my mind, I almost considered him having this baby because he wanted so bad and just being a stepmom, like taking the baby as our own. Like I actually almost considered that. And so my first thing was hurt, pain, all that stuff. Then I was like, okay, we're finna make this a threesome then. We're going to her house. I need her to pee on this stick. We need to see what's going on. So the pee on the stick became inclusive. We went to her house, and then he wouldn't tell me, like, at first he wouldn't tell me, like, what's her name, who's she. I'm like, she can kill me. People come, emotional. I live right around the corner. We go to the same gas station. Our Walmart family go, we close. I didn't know who she is, so I can watch my back. I can pray against whatever. And so it resulted in her not being pregnant, but we just could not get back. I couldn't get back to where we were because I had just been violated. And I mean, we tried counseling, and he just basically was like, well, if she ain't pregnant, I don't care. I don't want to do it. And he started like pushing away. If I touch him, he's like, oh, or if I, I'd be talking, he's like, damn, your voice irritating. This the voice you paid to talk to for 2 years. I don't understand. So, just crazy. It's just, it's just the devil just came in. I found myself every night I got to turn on the inspirational music, holy music. I put holy oil on his body, his shoes, his clothes, girl, a car. Just praying for like God get out of my marriage. And then I used to get in his face like, you got to fight. You got to fight for our marriage. Like, you have to cast the devil out. You got to get him out of here. It's you. You got to want. He just didn't want it. And at first I died for 6 months. I just could not get it together. I had me a war room, and I prayed and I cried and I pleaded, and I got all prayed on and all that kind of stuff. And I set up when I turned 40 about 2 years ago. I said, I need to. He came over. I wasn't here. He came over one day, And he called me and said, "You can take that down because I'm not coming back." That was my cue. That was my okay. So guess what? I took him down and put me up there. I put my
Mhm.
picture up there. And I prayed for me. And I put affirmations up for me. And I got myself together. I had to build myself back up. So all that Cincinnati hole came back. All that you ain't worthy came back. I had to cast all that out. And I mean I had to do the work. I'm talking about pleading in my own place, shifting furniture, getting the devil out, opening up the windows and telling the devil, you gotta get out of here. Because I'm a child of the king and I
Yes.
am destined for greatness. So I had to like speak all of that into my life. And I mean, if I could turn this thing around, it's 25 postcards in front of me telling me how great I am. And I slowly just shedded that negative energy and said, you know what? He didn't leave me. God moved him. Because I came home,
Mhm.
November. He told me October 31st he wanted to leave. November 2nd, he was gone. And everybody kept on saying, girl, he gonna come back. He moved into a room for rent. No, he's been raised for 21 years in a room. So he's not. It doesn't matter. They was like he gonna miss this food and you cooking. Because when I tell you a great wife, I was a great wife.
I
So I
know.
knew, that God had to move him. God said, hey, you love him too much. He is not your God. You need to get yourself together. So that's what I had to do.
So do you think when he moved into that one room, and I think you had mentioned this, that it's like he was still there in prison in his mind?
Absolutely not. It's not even a doubt in my mind. Yes, absolutely. Even in our house, and my friends, we always joke about this. Even any little nook, any little sunroom, if we went out to the movies, it's up on the wall. It was a prison. It have his stuff. Period. His stuff. I mean, he was serious about that little room he had because in his mind that was his jail cell. His jail cell. And I mean, I love my husband. I tell you, it was so hard to let go, but it's like I had to realize that God is greater. God is greater. And I kept telling myself, well, at least I got married. At least I was able to feel love. It didn't last that long, but I done been married. I did it. I got the t-shirt. So I should be
Mhm.
happy. When he loved me, he loved me. And I felt the love. And everybody said, well, you think it was fake because y'all was only married for 5 years, probably 4 good ones. I don't think it was fake. I just think that he missed it and he wanted to go get it back. It didn't have anything to do with me. And he told me, and I believe it. It had nothing to do with me because I haven't did anything to him. I was a great wife, cooking, cleaning. He get off at 11 o'clock. I'm cooking his fried fish fresh at 12 midnight, and I got to get up at 5:30, leaving notes in the lunchbox, going. Just I was a good wife. Period, hands down. Even my friends said, "Like, girl, you crazy." I was not. And it solidified to me. It don't matter what you do because my
Mhm.
friends still ain't doing it, but they still married. So it didn't have nothing to do with that. It didn't have nothing to do with me. It had something to do with him. He needed to get his life back. Marriage has rules. He don't want to live by any rules. He had been doing it, and so I had to. Once I got it together and said, "Okay, you got to get yourself together," I realized that he missed it, and that prison is rules, and it's like a marriage is prison for some folks. And so
Mhm.
I had to let it go. I had to let it go, let him go. I don't have no desire to talk to him. Everybody say I feel like I must be hating in my heart. I got malice. I'm sad. I'm mad. I'm not mad or angry at him, but I feel no need to talk to somebody who cheated on me and left me. Goodbye. And I keep
Yeah.
moving. I mean, my in my book in Brutal Courage, my passage is called Keep Moving, Trek 19. And I keep moving and I encourage anybody, you just keep moving. If you just keep moving, keep praying and putting your feet forward, those steps, those little steps are gonna take you into something great. Since he's been gone, I haven't lacked anything. Meaning, like, some people have to move back home, and he took his car. He connected the bank accounts within 4 days, and I was devastated. But I went on FMLA and I got myself together. I felt like, oh, I'm not gonna be able to get a car because my credit. Girl, I got a car, still got the same car, never been repoed. God has blessed me. Okay, God has blessed me, and
So,
so
what advice would you give to someone right now that's going through that? Maybe take 2 minutes and just talk to somebody who may have a broken marriage right now. It ain't necessarily that the man was even in prison, but in spiritual prison or spiritual bondage, and talk to that lady who's going through right now in their marriage and don't know how to come out. Take 2 minutes to do that.
you just love you got to love yourself enough to know if I had to put affirmations up. And sometimes you sneaky, you don't want to know, so I wouldn't necessarily suggest that. But get something in your mind to tell you who you are and how great you are. You can be praying to God, but girl, the devil will tell you God said stay. No, 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 no. You have to really seek and say, you know what? If is this giving me enough energy to love me? Am I feeling love? What am I feeling? Because somebody asked me one time, they said, well, who's suggesting sex? Who's suggesting to me that who's loving who? Are y'all connected? Or y'all disconnect? So really take a self inventory. I'm a writer, so I write things down. And if them cons outweigh those pros, it's time to go. You do not have to be with nobody that does not want to be with you. You have to love yourself
Amen.
enough to say, I am enough on my own. And I'm a living witness. I am enough on my own. And I'm telling you, when you get out, when you leave, and I'm not a fan of divorce. I hate it. I mean, but it is what it is. You can if it's not love, it's not. And if God is not in the fold of it, it's not gonna work. Because you're on two separate pages, and marriages go through cycles. So you get on a different page, but guess what? The other person has to choose to turn it. And if he's not choosing to turn it and get on the page that you're on, or vice versa, it's time to go. And don't stay for the kids, because guess what? They already know. They already know. God will take care of us. And I think we lack that because we want to see tangible stuff in front of us. But I promise you, if you take one step, God will take another. I have completed so many goals without him, which if I had my husband, I would have been so focused on him because I was really focused on my marriage. It's about what he wanted to do. I done wrote a book. I'm coming out with my second book. I got a whole business. I am standing on my own 2 feet, and I got everything I had by myself. Everything I had with him is gone, and I reconnected, rebooted. So just love yourself enough to say, you know what? This is enough. It's not working. Look at what's in front of you. We become blind to what's exactly in front of us.
Yes, yes. Tamika, I thank you so much. Girl, I can't even express the thank you for coming and sharing your story, taking the time out of your schedule, and just coming, being transparent. And I know that so many people are going to be blessed because I saw somebody from Uganda that showed up on here. So, even over in Africa, that watching the show, that they're going to be blessed. They're going to be blessed from national to international, just hearing how you overcame and how you have to celebrate yourself. So thank you so much for coming and tell people how they can order your book and how they can get in contact with you.
My book is on Amazon at Tamika Jones, Brutal Courage, the remix. You can email me at TamikaOsJones@gmail.com. You can find me on any social media platforms as Adorned by Mimi.
All right, all right. And I just want you all to subscribe to my YouTube channel, I Heard Ministries, Saturday 4.22 Guest Towns, and follow us on Roku on our Brothers Keeper channel, and as well as Amazon Fire Stick. And special thanks to those who watch the show nationally and internationally. I would love to hear from you. Please email me at iheardministries@gmail.com to let me know if the show have been a blessing to you. And until next week, let the peace of God reign, rule, and abide in your hearts. I'm Mildred Towns. Thank you for watching.